In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly how we start and scale ad campaigns for new dropshipping stores. I'm gonna try to be as transparent as possible and break down the strategy as in-depth as I possibly can. So if you guys like the value and you like the quality of this content, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below for more high quality content. In my last video, you guys went absolutely crazy. We got hundreds of comments of people asking to see my Facebook ad strategy. I haven't really made an in-depth guide in about a year or so I wanted to come and provide an update for you guys today. So without further ado, let's just go ahead. I've got this PowerPoint presentation pulled up here, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna break this down as in-depth as possible. Now, real quick, this is just gonna be an overview of the strategy. I don't have the time to break down every term inside of Facebook and every tiny thing that you need to know. If you need to know the beginner tips on how the platform works, on how to use the platform, there may be other videos for that. But if you're looking for a strategy that you can use to go from 0 to 1K a day, from 1K to 5K a day, and scaling beyond that past 10K a day, this strategy will work for you and has worked for us. It's taken us to over 40K a day, and we've even scaled stores past 500K a month with this strategy. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So you can see right here, this is a 4-phase method. That's what I call it. We break it down into 4 different sections. The first phase is with testing different creatives, because we want to see which creative is our audience going to react the best to in our demographic. This is optional, but it's very important that you follow this, because this is the most important thing when it comes to Facebook ads, is your creative and how people respond to it. We're gonna break each one of these down one by one. The second one is interest testing. So after you found a creative that's working well for you, you need to then take that and test different audiences up against that to see which ones are your top performers and who's really gonna be buying your product at scale. After you get some traction with finding your creative, finding your audiences that are interested, you're gonna dig deeper and try to optimize your website even further. So improving your conversion rate, improving your page speed, and improving your margins by adding upsells and other sequences to your funnel. Once you do those 2 things, you can finally start scaling. And you're going to be able to do this first with horizontal scaling. This just means introducing more audiences and more people to the existing offer and creative that you're already running. And then lastly, you'll be scaling up vertically, which means spending more money on these audiences that are working well. So this is a strategy that will work for people on a lower budget and people that are on a higher budget. It's totally interchangeable. The more money you have, the more effective you can be in implementing this strategy. I did want to touch real briefly though on how Facebook ads actually work, because a lot of people contact me on a daily basis saying things like, oh, well, the algorithm is constantly changing, and how do you deal with Facebook's competitive algorithm? This is really the solution right here. And if you can understand these 3 core components, you'll really be able to understand the Facebook ads platform and how it really works. So the 3 things that Facebook looks for when determining if you're gonna win the auction up against the competitor or not is your bid, the estimated action rate, and the user value. And we're gonna break down all 3 of these. And this is something that is important to know, because when you're going out there against other people on this platform, you need to know the game that you're playing, and it's really not that complicated. So what Facebook determines your ad being ranked off of is firstly the amount that you're willing to spend for your conversions. Now, this is not a number that you set yourself. Inside of Facebook, there's a tool called lowest cost, and this tells Facebook to go out there and try to get the lowest bid possible for your product. This allows Facebook's algorithm to fully optimize and deliver your ad at their own pace. And their algorithm is very smart. It's been developing over years. So I would completely trust lowest cost. You can use the other options if you really want to scale, but when you're just getting started out, just stick with the lowest cost. The second thing that Facebook looks at is the estimated action rate. So this is Facebook's guess at how well your ad is going to achieve the objective. So let's say your goal is to go out there and get a purchase. Facebook is going to say, how are these ads performing? How are people engaging with this ad? What is the feedback like on this account? If they feel like there's a high percentage that you're going to be able to get that purchase, you're going to win more auctions and pop up higher in the Facebook newsfeed. This is something that you have no control over in terms of just tweaking a dial or changing a number. But if you improve your creative and your offer, this will naturally go up. And it's very important to have this in mind. And lastly, Facebook looks at user value when putting you in the auction. So what user value is what a customer does after they click on your ad. So if they come to your website and the first thing they do is they bounce, they leave the website, it's going to cause your score on this user value number to dip down. And this is something that you actually can't even look at. It's a hidden metric, but it plays a massive role in your ad delivery and ranking. This is why people with these really slow loading page websites and people with these poorly designed sites always lose the bid to somebody who has a nice, optimized, clean store. It's very important to know these things. And I also put in the description down below a Facebook ads terminology cheat sheet, because once I get into the strategy, which is right now, I might say some things that might go over your head, so you can follow that cheat sheet if you have any second questions about what I'm talking about. Okay, so now we can talk about the 4-phase strategy. I just wanted to give you a little bit of understanding about how the platform works, because it makes a difference when you feel like you're in control of it. So with the first phase, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a creative testing campaign for our product. So this is at a point where you've already found a product, you've already built your store, you already built the landing page, you're ready to launch ads. The first thing that you need to do is create at least one video ad. I would recommend creating 3 video ads, but at the very least create 1. And the ways that you can do that, you can just go ahead and make your own, learn how to edit videos. I've made guides on my channel before. I made a video recently about it too, breaking down exactly how to edit. I also could suggest joining my software Viral Vault, where we send you video ads for every product that we put on there. Or there's actually a company called Bands Off Ads that's pretty legit. They make really good content, and you could just pay them to get an ad for your product. Once that's done, you have to get into making the campaign to really test this and see what's working the best. So what you're going to want to do is create one campaign, and I'm going to jump in the ad account and show you an example of this, but you're going to make one campaign with a $30 CBO. And inside of that campaign, you're going to put 3 ad sets. These 3 ad sets are going to have the same targeting. So let's say, for example, in this case, I'm selling this robotic kind of gadget-based product. I want to target the broadest niche that's related to my product that my audience might be in. And we're going to duplicate that 3 times. The audience is going to be the exact same. The only thing that changes inside of there is the ad itself, because then we can test which ad is performing the best in our ideal target market. And you're going to want to run this for 1 to 2 days to figure out which one is your best performer. So I actually did a test just to kind of show you guys what the campaign looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to that now, if you just give me 1 second. All right, so this is a sample right here. You can see that there's 3 ad sets inside of here. They all have the same exact targeting and location, and they're targeting the big 4 countries, and they all just have a different ad inside of them. The one thing that I changed on the ad is I do the same video, but I just do a different thumbnail and copy. You could do 3 different videos, however you want to test. You just want to throw a couple options out there because you don't know what's going to be the best performer, so you have to test. This should only take you 1 day to 2 days to really find what's working. If you look at the example we just did and we switch it over to lifetime, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. So you can see we ran this little test, and out of the 3 ads, this ad number 2 did the best. It had a 2.32 CTR compared to everything else. It was higher. It had a higher link click CTR as well, and it was the cheapest cost for the cost per link click. So it was our best performer, okay? This is an optional phase, but it's really good to do because then when you go into this next phase, you're going into it with an optimized video that you know is somewhat interesting to your audience. So this right here is the most important phase because this is where you're really gonna start seeing some sales and start identifying who is actually buying the product. So this is something that's very simple. You're just gonna launch a conversion campaign with the objective of purchase, okay? The reason why is because we want Facebook to look for people who are likely to purchase, okay? Inside of that campaign, you want to do at least 10 ad sets. You don't have to do 10, but I really suggest you do 10 because this is 10 different groups of people that are potentially interested in your product. So the more of those that you have, the better chance of success you have for your campaign, okay? You want to make these as broad as possible with the targeting. I like to target things only over 1 million in terms of interest because it gives Facebook room to play and room to look for your ideal buyer. For the location, you want to do big 4 countries, and then you can take that best performing creative and stick it inside of that ad set. So now you have this campaign with an optimized creative, okay? And you have a bunch of different ad sets, and now your goal is to see which is the best ones, which are the best ones that are selling consistently, getting sales, and it's going to become very clear to you what demographic is buying this product or that nobody wants your product, and you have a lot of room for improvement as well. So one other thing that I want to mention is when you're running these, you want to be making sure to look for room for improvement. You want to be always testing different images on your website and different pricing on your website. Just see what converts better and what sells better. This is that time to really experiment with your funnel and get things as good as possible for scaling moving forward. It's also worth putting some upsells in your funnel at this time as well. So that's the start of the second phase. You're gonna let them run for 24 to 48 hours before killing those ad sets. And to kill those ad sets, to make that decision to shut them off, you need to know your numbers. One of the most important numbers to figure out is your break-even point. So what is the max amount that you can spend on ads to get a purchase without losing money? In this case right here, we'll say we're selling the product for $49.99. It costs us $15 to fulfill, so that's $34.99. That's our break-even point. So that means that we can spend up to $34 on that Facebook ad set without losing money. But after we get over that threshold, we're actually losing money on every dollar we spend, okay? So that's the first thing that you want to look for, but that can get a little expensive. So here's some other metrics to review so you can kill things earlier and save more money. If you don't have any add to carts after $15 and spent, probably worth killing the product. To be honest with you, I do it at about $10. If I'm not getting any add to carts at $10, it's kind of a red flag that the product's not going to work. And also your cost per link click, you want that to be under $1.50. If it starts to get over $1.50, you probably want to consider killing it or figure out what's broken. And lastly, the CTR, the same thing goes there. If it's over 0.5, that's good. If it's below 0.5, you probably want to figure out what's broken and think about killing it. The whole entire goal of phase 2 is to build a campaign of profitable interest and optimize your website to get your conversion rate higher and get your AOV higher. This is the phase where you finally start seeing some sales, you start seeing some growth, and you start improving your business. It's very important. So after you get through that phase, after you have a nice consistent base of ad sets that are selling well, maybe 5, maybe less, this is when you can start scaling up a little bit. I would suggest scaling after you have at least 3 ad sets that have gotten consistent sales. So at least like 2 to 3 sales over the last couple of days. I wouldn't start scaling after 1 sale. You want to see a little bit of consistency with it and then say, okay, how much bigger can we go with this product? So the next thing that you want to do is scale horizontally. This just means introducing more audiences into your campaign and launching it to more people. So what you want to do for this is launch 3 to 5 new interests daily inside of your campaign to find new audiences. And since you already know this product is selling well, set them at $20 a day because you want to kickstart them. You want to give them a good budget. It's going to get some more momentum flowing for your business. And then kill those based on the KPIs I shared earlier. You can have these numbers, take a screenshot, but kill those ads based on the numbers there and keep the winners. And another thing to do at this same time is to create custom audiences. So when it comes to custom audiences, these are just a group from the people who commit actions on your website. So people who view your videos, people who go to your webpage, people who add to cart. You can actually build audiences of those people inside of Facebook, and you can use those for a couple things. The 2 best things that you can use them for is lookalikes and retargeting. Now, lookalikes can be a whole video in themselves, so I'm going to try to explain this strategy now, but after you build those custom audiences, it's just inside of Facebook, it's inside the audiences tab. There's probably 20 videos that you could go watch on how to do it. you want to let those build for a couple days because you want to actually have numbers inside of there before you make a lookalike or before you make a retargeting ad set. What I would suggest is wait till you have at least 1,000 conversions. So an example of that could be you get 1,000 link clicks, okay? And then you can go ahead and make a lookalike audience based off of those link clicks. For example, you could do view content 1% lookalikes targeting the USA, and then all the way up to 7 to 10%. You can see how we do the percentages here. I like to build 5 lookalikes inside of that campaign, and I also like to separate it by region. Some people don't do this, but this is what I like to do because it's more organized. And from there, you're going to have a new campaign that is having these lookalike audiences in there, and it's specifically targeted towards a region. So you can stay very organized, and you can launch even more ads that are being profitable and scaling every day. So from that, you can just launch one. You can usually launch more than one. We'll usually launch like 3 or 4 on that first day. We like to do video views first for 1 to 2 countries, and then we like to do the view content first for another 1 to 2 countries. And then as you start to get more conversions, you can do it for add to cart, for initiate checkout, for purchase, and that's when the scale just starts to get crazy. The biggest opportunity for scaling from 1K a day to 3K a day and beyond is horizontal scaling. You really don't have to do any budget increases to get past that $3,000 a day, 100K a month level. It helps to do the budget increases, but it really, sometimes it hurts, you know? So let's keep going with this. When you're setting up the LLAs or the lookalike audiences, I would suggest putting them at $20 to $40 daily budget. This is just gonna give it some momentum off the rip. If you have a lower budget, you can do less. You can do like 10 bucks and just continue launching more every single day based on your budget. If you have a big budget, keep testing them, keep launching them, because all it's doing is building more audiences for you to sell to, okay? So the last thing that I want to talk about in phase 3 is launching retargeting. Once again, this can be a whole video in and of itself, and I'm sure you guys can find some specific retargeting strategies in another video, but it's very simple what we do, and it's actually our highest ROAS campaign. It has like an 8x ROAS. What we do is we set a CBO, $30 a day, website purchase. I put 4 ad sets inside of there, and I put every objective. So I put my video viewers, I combine them, so 75 and 90% in one ad set. I do view content in one ad set, add to cart in one ad set, initiate checkout in one ad set. And then I make a very simple creative with a scarcity offer and discount. Like I said, my highest ROAS campaign, which means return on ad spend, is a retargeting campaign, and the creative is so simple. It's literally just the product on a white background, and it has like an 11% CTR link click. People go crazy over it because the theory is they've already come to the website, they were already interested in the product. So if we give them a discount, if we give them a one-time offer on this retargeting ad, why won't they come back and shop with us? So retargeting works very well. Lookalike audiences work very well. This phase 3 is where you really crank up the notch and you start making much more money. Now, the maximum level of scaling is gonna come from phase 4, and I'm gonna try to make this as simple as possible. So first things first, you wanna take your top 5 interests from your interest testing campaign and duplicate them into a $300 CBO campaign. And you want to do this with your best creative, the one that you found from the start. And you want to do the same thing, but with the lookalike audiences. So now you have an interest scaling campaign and a lookalike audience scaling campaign. And from that, you're going to put those at $300 a day, and you're just going to let those run for at least 48 hours and then kill the bad ones based off performance, and simply just keep cycling in losers and winners, because as your interests die off, as they stop performing, you can go ahead and continue to cycle in more new interest as you're constantly testing. So hopefully you guys see how this machine works. You start by figuring out your best creative, then you take that creative, figure out your best interest, then you continue launching more interest to acquire some data, then you use that data to launch lookalike audiences, retargeting, and continue growing and growing your arsenal of profitable ad sets. And then you take those profitable ad sets, you put them into scaling campaigns, and that's how this really explodes. So this strategy is working very well right now. I believe that this strategy will continue to work well for the entirety of 2020. It's very straightforward, but we've tested it time and time again. And this is exactly a breakdown of everything. You can maybe take a screenshot of this if you want. And I apologize if I was maybe going through it too fast in this video, but I'm just kind of going off the top of my head here, just following along with this. So this strategy, I have full confidence, can take you past 30K to 100K a month. These are some of my one-on-one students that I've worked with. And if you're interested in doing that, there'll be a link in the description to book a call with me. You can check that out. But other than that, that's pretty much everything for this video. Hopefully you guys found this valuable. Hopefully it wasn't too rushed. I really tried to break down my exact strategy as much as possible. Obviously we couldn't contain every single thing in this video, or this would have been an hour long. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below what you would want to see in the next video. What I want to make a video on up next is exactly how to ship products during coronavirus, because it's kind of a crazy time right now, and there's some really valuable things I've learned over this last couple weeks. So let me know if you guys would want to see that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.